Hi, everybody. Welcome to another Facebook Live. And I was excited about this one this morning because I realized that there's so many of us going through transformation. Personal transformation, spiritual transformation, physical transformation. The planet is going through a lot of transformation. And hi, Sharon. I'm just going to mention you. And I thought it was a good idea to come on and talk about how to get through periods of transformation in your life with some clarity and to still have inner peace. Because, folks, the turmoil is real. I mean, as real can be. We are affected by transformation. We are being affected by physical environment, our emotional, and our spiritual environment. We're being asked to elevate ourselves to a new level that we've never been before. Is it chaotic at times? Yeah. Is it fearful at times? Can be. Is it physically draining at times? Yeah. Confusion, anxieties, some fears, all part of the huge transformation that we chose to go through subconsciously and or consciously. And I have been through many transformations in my time, many. And my guest, who I'm going to bring on in a minute, Sharon, can attest to that. She has been there for me for a few years since I've known her. She's my best soul friend, #BSF, we always put down. She knows the hell I've been through and back just in the past 4 years even. Never mind the rest of my life, which is volumes of books that I could write about. But especially since this huge energy wave came in the planet to help elevate us to really get to know who our true self is. Let go of the illusions we've been living under and come into a realm of who are we at core level? Why are we here on this planet? What are your gifts and your talents and your passions? Are you living them? And if not, you're probably feeling the longing to, that there's something missing. And the one thing that I crave the most is my connection to my source energy. It's there all the time. And because I've been doing the inner work, the personal development, the spiritual work, my connection to God, source energy, universal creator, whatever you want to call it, has grown tremendously. It's like I never think I'm not connected, because I always am, but that communication level has upped, especially in the past few weeks. After we came into the new year, everything up leveled. Everything was upgraded, and I reached out and received it all. Lots and lots of stories to tell you on that. But I really want to get into the transformation because we're going through many levels of transformation. And because, some of the experiences I've had and the knowledge and the wisdom I have, I get to work with clients around the globe, helping them transform every area of their life, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And it's something I love to do. And so does my friend and colleague Sharon, and I'm going to ask her to come on camera, and we're going to have a conversation about transformation and some hints and tips that we can leave with you to help get you through. And I'm going to let you know that I do offer complimentary calls, discovery calls, let's energy reading calls, whatever you want to call them, so that I can help support you as best as I can. So let's get on with the show. Miss Sharon, I'm going to invite you on camera.
I love your determination.
Thank you. We're going to talk about how transformation can sometimes cause a lot of chaos, and that's okay if we understand what's going on, and then how we can move through that. And Lauren says, yay. Finally. Hi, Jerry. I know I was in such great flow on the first Facebook Live, and then it was like I was touching your name and nothing was happening. So I want to introduce Sharon Wax. She is my dearest friend, colleague, and Deborah is on here. I just helped Deborah with something for Hay House last week. Hello, Deborah. I would love for you to come on too. So Sharon is my dear friend. She's my best soul friend, #BSF. And talk about transformation, Sharon, that I've gone through in the past years. You and I have shared our ups and downs, our ins and outs, our sorrows, our fears, our anxieties, our happiness, our joy. And at the end of the day, we're going, man, as horrible as some of this is pretty cool that we have come to this place where I would say most of the time we have inner peace and clarity. And when we don't, we work through our stuff. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, we have learned that we work through our stuff, we get the clarity, we get back to the moments that feel really good. Because when things don't feel good, that's the universe tapping us and saying, time to do some inner work. So, yes, yes, yes.
You got it. And I think the universe is sort of tapping a little heavier these days, right?
Mm. Tap me, but good the last few days. It's been
I
a while,
know.
but man, when it taps, sometimes it just goes boom, get down.
I know. And we've got a
Ah,
lot of stories we could share about what we call the universe tapping at us to sort of come into alignment. And what happens is we move through these, we end up with the knowledge and the experience and the wisdom to be able to help others. And that's the crux of my business, is helping people move through this ascension, this elevation, this up leveling that's happening not only physically on the planet, but with us as being a spiritual being in our earth suits. And it's quite fascinating, some of the things that are happening to us. And Sharon does healing in a realm of called theta healing. And it's so interesting. And I know that you and I see the same type of clients, people that are in chaos or in turmoil or in transition. And it's quite something to watch this evolution of things that are happening. Wouldn't you agree, Sharon?
oh, I would so agree. I would so agree. And we are all exactly where we need to be in the process of it. And what we've done before and what the people who are listening have been through before is preparing them on this same journey. And I see Tracy, our dear friend Tracy Trezona, has joined. So, hi, Tracy.
Hi, Tracy. I love Tracy, and she knows all about transformation. She holds me accountable the one time I totally transformed her life. She had the huge aha moment, and she will be the first to testify that. In fact, she has testified about it many times where it totally shifted her completely. And I think that's, when we go through this and when we tap into our gifts, and I talked about it on the first live video before everything froze. And I would encourage you guys to watch the first few minutes of that live video because I really tapped into what was going on and what we were going to talk about, is that when we tap into our gifts and our talents and our purposes, then we start transforming in a way that is absolutely beyond description. Tracy says hi, hi. So, Sharon, let's talk about transformation and sometimes how icky it can be. And I don't know why I use the word icky, but it can be really icky.
Because it can feel icky. It can, and it's a icky is a great word because when we are move away from honoring the times that we are tapped into our truth and our inner self, right? It we our cells of our body, right, are listening all the time, and they get sticky and they get stuck with all the ickiness that's going through our heads or going through the feelings. So it's to get, like, to say, hey, we're off track, and it does feel icky, and it's time, it's the signal that you're ready to transform or to elevate. And what's so really cool about what you do, and yeah, what I do too to some degree, is that we bring that clarity or insight into people. What is the ickiness, and to have clarity on that so they can move through it, right, and then have the inner peace, kind of get unicky.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, one of my gifts is seeing people's shit, seeing people's stuff, the stuff that's blocking them or holding them back. And you and I know that you and I, when we mirror each other, we see something in each other that the other doesn't see. And that's why
Mhm.
I love what I do, because we don't see our stuff most of the time because we're caught up in an old paradigm, an old belief system. Hi, Alexandra. Alexandra. And hi,
Alejandra. Alejandra is an awesome. She's an awesome. She's taken two theta healing classes with me. She took advanced and basic, and she's going to be taking dig deeper in March.
Oh,
So
cool.
hi, Alejandra.
And Ronald's here. Good morning to you, Ronald. We're talking about transformation, and Ronald, you know all about that transformation and how, you know, when we have our gifts and talents in place, when we know what we're here to do and serve, we get to serve each other. We get to up level and upgrade the planet, so to speak, by us becoming more lighter, by letting go of our stuff, our belief systems, by seeing through the lies and illusions that we've been conditioned and brainwashed to believe. And sometimes that can be not so nice of a journey because it brings up stuff that our ego screams, no, don't take that belief away. I've owned this forever. And now there's this emptiness. And here's the work that's involved when you work with a coach, something like me, is now we practice into being the new belief that you want. And Lauren says, I always laugh about how easy it is to see everyone else's crap. And just a minute, I got to scroll up. I always laugh about how easy it is to see everyone else's crap, and sometimes I just can't see my own. Well, Lauren, you and I have been friends.
Truth.
We have been WhatsApp. I know the truth. Lauren and I have been WhatsApp friends. We've only had one telephone conversation. We haven't met. We are the best of friends on WhatsApp. Pretty much talk every day. And we have been through so much, and she has been there so often for me. She's like, she's highly intuitive. And when she breaks out on her own business after her kids are older, I think we're going to be all a formidable team. And Charlene is there. Charlene's another one who understands about transformation. And Charlene helped me transcend.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I went beyond transformation into transcend in a couple of sessions I had with Charlene. There was stuff that I couldn't see and I couldn't get at. And Charlene is expert at that. Help me transcend that. So Charlene, you know I owe you like so much, girl. Lauren says, aw, thanks. Yeah, Lauren, I can't wait till we can work together. Maybe in my retreat centers. Wouldn't that be fun? Mm-hmm. Which is a dream of mine.
As you
guys,
said, you speak things into existence, Judy.
Yes.
I just want to say and point out, you speak things into existence and you practice what you teach and what you live and what you help your students with and your clients with, because you and I were talking about it earlier, how you're ready and you're wanting this retreat and you just bring it in through your reality and in speaking it into existence. So what a beautiful way to model what you coach on.
Ah, thank you. Hi, Christiane. And that's something maybe we can touch a little bit on. Back about 15 years ago, I had a nickname called I was the Manifesting Queen. And then I was going through my personal transformation. And the way I used to manifest is maybe a little bit different than now, but now because of source energy and my connection to the universal power, manifestation comes extremely fast and easy to me. And Sharon and Lauren know some of the things I've manifested even in the past 3 months, like astounding things, like things that mouths drop open at, you know, like how did you do that? And maybe that's an area I'm going to move into about how to manifest the life you want. And I know that's cliche. We hear it all the time. But truly, if I can teach by example, right, Sharon? You know that.
Exactly. And that's what we're all really here to do, is to teach and model by example. When we shift our own way of being and our own energy and our own belief systems, then our actions shift and then we impact the world in a bigger way. And you have been doing that for ever since I've known you. You know, I've met you, maybe is it 5 years ago now? Maybe like a while ago. And huge transformation. And really the way to manifest is through inner transformation. The more clear you get in your own energy, then you've got that direct connection to source and guidance, and it's showing up. So you were talking about that, you know, this is really how transformation can be challenging, but it is so worthwhile to go through it and get to the other side of it, because then you are clear, have inner peace, and then manifesting like you said, a maniac, right? Or whatever the languages you use.
The
So cool.
the manifesting queen was my.
Manifesting queen. There you go.
Lauren says, yes, Judy and I at times tell each other stories of our future as they are happening. Absolutely.
Beautiful.
I call it talking your future into your existence. And this is how I manifested these huge, and I'm going to say again, huge things in the past 3 months. Like, Sharon, you were like, you were screaming on the phone almost when I was telling you everything, because there was such this huge.
Yeah, you have some big things coming.
Yeah, and have had some big things that have happened. And I'm going to start talking about those things as examples for you guys of how things and dreams really do come true. And sure, there's this buffer of time and there's this buffer of us getting into alignment and letting go of an old belief that may be stopping us. Because once we put out the manifestation, once we put out the intention, once we put out the feeling with attention, with intention, out it goes to the universe to bring back exactly what we've intended to do. But the minute we put an old belief in place, the minute we have self-judgment, the minute we have a self-worth issue, that energy gets steered off in a little bit of a different direction. So the work I love to do is help you to understand your belief systems and how they stop you, how basic energy works. And someone said one time, I have the gift of bringing metaphysical quantum physics talk and language into clear, concise terms that people can grasp hold of. And that's what I love to do. So, transformation is fun when you understand that while you're going through it may feel icky. When you get through that transformation, your world is a better place. You manifest exactly what you needed and wanted, and things are good. Hey, Sharon.
Amen. Yes. And if it's okay with you, I'd love to just share a little bit piece about getting through the ickiness, and another way to look at a different perspective of looking at the ickiness when you're going through it. And oftentimes we're taught that, oh my God, if we have some symptoms, physical symptoms coming up, that we have a disease state or an illness, and that it's been brewing it could have been brewing for a while, or it just shows up. And we've got to the past has said, that we want to just hurry up and treat the symptoms, or find out what the cause is, and if it's a cold or a bacteria or something, that we want to take medicines to treat it. And what I'd like to share in a different perspective is to understand that when we are making transformation, you've been talking about the transformation process, it takes a while for the body to catch up to the spiritual, mental, and emotional transformation you've already gone through. And it can be that you've already made the transformation on those levels and energetically, and then it shows up in the body last when it's on its way out. So that's another way to look at those physical ickinesses when we get caught up in them. And I know as I said, I was like, down for the count the last couple of days. And I'm like, oh, what is this? Haven't I dealt with this before? And what is taking me off path? And yes, there could have been some things, but the truth is that I've been making some major shifts lately, and my body is just catching up to them and bringing stuff up to the surface so it will clear, so it will leave the body. Things come into the body first, and then they have to leave. And we're talking energetically. They come in through the different layers, and then the body has to send them back out through the layers. So if you get in those icky spaces, know that perhaps you're in that state of, you've been through transformation. Maybe it's time you need to reach out and get clarity on what that transformation is, because then once you have that, then you're able to have a new perspective of it and move in a different direction.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Feel good?
That's a great explanation of that, because the body has a hard time catching up energetically. And no matter how perfectly healthy we are, Sharon and I are organic, plant-based diets. We we fine tune our daily regime with intuition, always asking the body what it wants. So we're in really, really good health. Yet the body sometimes has a hard time catching up to the emotional and energetic shifts that have already happened. And Lauren says, and so you don't go into fear. Exactly. And I can tell you a
Exactly.
story, right, of how I went into fear and ended up actually getting it checked out through Emerge to prove to myself that what was happening to me was energetic and not physical, even though physical symptoms were there. There was nothing physically, I didn't have a disease, there was nothing that required anything emergency related or immediate. I went to prove to myself, which sometimes in the past I had to learn lessons the hard way. The hard way. But it was a great
Because
lesson.
that was a belief, right? Right?
That's
You got to
right. It
find that
was
that
a
was a
belief.
belief. I have to learn the hard way because society used to tell everybody, your parents probably said to you, you got to learn the hard way, but boom, right?
Yep. And I did. And so I proved to myself that what I was experiencing was a fear, and of course some energetic
Hmm.
things from the planet as well was a fear. And then so when Lauren says, and so you don't go into fear, is absolutely right. When you understand what's happening to you emotionally, physically, and spiritually, all on those levels, then transformation can be a little bit easier. Yes, it's icky at times. Yes, it's a little bit scary at times when you hold beliefs about it, when you don't understand it. And this is why, like, I have my own coach. Never mind that Lauren is in here and Deborah is in here, and Charlene's been in here, and Sharon. I've used all their services. We're friends. Some are paid services, but I have my own coach and always have, because we can't see past our shit sometimes, people, and we call it that in the spiritual world for a reason. We, many
Yeah,
practitioners and colleagues call it shit
funny.
because it emphasizes how much it has stopped us from living the life that we were here to live, that we are here to live. Our life is meant to be joyful here. And that's a whole other subject, but we're on transformation. Hi, Carrie. Thanks for being here. Lauren
Hi,
says it's also,
Alicia.
Lauren
Alicia is an
says it's also,
acupuncturist.
oh, cool. Lauren says it is also easier with people who understand and can shine a light for you. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I thank these people on my Facebook Live today for shining their light and holding me in that peaceful place and in that loving space and of that experiential place of reflecting back to me where I've been and where I've sat and what is really going on. So, in other words, they're showing me my shit, and I make a decision. Do I want to deal with this? Or do I want to hide under the covers? Or do I want to argue for my limitations again? Which I used to be really good at arguing for my limitations, scared of change, fearful of everything, and it's so much easier when you have people in your life, whether they're friends or people that have experienced the same thing, or you hire a mentor or a coach to be able to show you and be there for you with no judgment. And that's the key too, is holding no judgment, right, Sharon?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I love it. And really do, I know you affectionately and jokingly say, we see our shit, right? But that it's really, we're seeing our shifts, and we can't always see our shifts because it requires us to let go of who we thought we were and step into who we are, or who our inner being knows and our inner self knows we really want to be. And that's not always an easy thing to do. That's why we get decades to do it. Thank God, right? Thank God we get decades to do this, or many of us get decades to do it, because it is a process. And learning to, when you're in your shifts, to sometimes just be in the process of it rather
Yeah.
than telling yourself you've got to change right now, or you want to hide. Just, okay, I'm just in it. Like you said, like, there's a lot of good stuff going on right now in your life, and you don't have clarity yet on which direction to go. So sometimes you just have to be in it until that next inspired, aligned, answer comes, and without
Yeah,
getting icky, or knowing when you get icky, oh, good, thank you. There's some inner shift to do again.
Exactly. You
Mm-hmm.
know, when we see those things that come up for us, instead of going, "Oh God, not something else," it's like, "Where's okay? There's a beautiful gift in this. There's definitely a
Mm-hmm.
beautiful gift." And Lauren says there's also the belief systems that say it's not okay to change. Exactly, Lauren. People like us to stay the way we are. That's about them, but it stirs up relationships. Oh my God. Triggers in relationships are at their utmost highest on this planet. Everybody in any type of relationship has trigger moments come up because it's a reflection of back to us what needs to be let go or heal within us. And I'm seeing it throughout the planet on social media, hearing about it with my clients, myself, and all my relationships. Triggers come up. And it's so great because it's almost like we're on speed of cleaning up triggers. Like we're on fast forward, because as soon as we get one trigger, and we transform that, then another one comes up, and another, and then the physical body sometimes has to jump in and do what it needs to do. So talk about,
Yeah.
I think the main word of every day is like transformation every day. Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you for that.
And you're welcome.
So does anybody that's on here have any questions or comments about transformation before we wind this up? It was awesome being here, guys. I knew I needed to do this morning, and because I pay attention to my higher self, and it was about transformation because the whole planet is going through transformation, and every single person is going through transformation. Hi, Mark. How is Mark? Mark, you know all about transformation. I know that, and you're traveling right now, I think, aren't you? So if anybody has any questions or comments, we'll welcome them. We'll have more conversation for a little bit if you want. But Sharon, you and I could talk about transformation and ideas and share stories and experiences and hints and tips forever. And you've already shared some incredible tips for people,
Mm-hmm.
to just know that this is normal right now, that we're all being asked to come into alignment. And that's a new word for a lot of people I know. Um, and alignment means that you are connected to your higher self. You are staying in connection. You are being led by your higher self, even though it feels like it's icky at times. Know that everything happening is for your highest good and for the highest good of
Mm-hmm.
all. We know that, don't we? And I want to
Mm-hmm.
just mention again, not stress. What did I say stress for? Mention again that anyone watching the replay, I do offer a discovery call, and I can help you understand why you're going through transformation. So I'm going to put the link in after the video, and I know Sharon does the same thing. And even though we're countries apart, Miss Sharon, we we connect on so many different levels. And
Yes.
Sharon, do you have any? Yes, we do. Do you have any last words?
Last words for now, because they're never last words, right? I would say that if you are wondering if the transformation or shift you're going through now is taking you closer to who you are, to truly are, or as Judy said, to your higher self, to understanding that, or if it's taking you farther away, the best thing you can do is just pay attention to how you feel. If you feel really good, you're probably a lot closer and you're in alignment with the transformation and shifts that you're making. If you're feeling that ickiness, then probably you're ready for another shift and getting a new perspective on it, and to get back closer to your true self.
Yep.
So that's my pay attention to how you feel.
Exactly. And I say this at the beginning of every session with my clients that there is nothing, absolutely nothing more important than that you feel good. And you can feel good even though you feel icky because you know through the ickiness there's more goodness waiting for you when you understand what's happening. So on that note, I want to thank my hashtag BSF for being here. And I think we're going to do more of these. They're fun, they're educational,
Okay.
and I'm sure they have given some information to anyone that's going to watch this again to help them transform with some grace and ease and to understand what's happening in their world. So thank you everybody for your comments.
Absolutely.
And I wish for
And
you,
thank you for inviting me.
yes, my pleasure. I knew you needed to be on here. I did. And it was just something that needed to happen. And you know what happens when I manifest? It just, right?
It just
So
happens.
thank you, Sharon. Thank you, everybody. Happy transformation. It's never going to stop, guys. We're always transforming into something. The energy never stops. It's always in action. Look forward to the next time. And thank you. Enjoy your day, your afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Bye for now, everybody. Bye. Bye.